Good, Bam. And we are rolling. Man, where do I even begin? It's quite a story, right? It's hell of a story. Is it my understanding that you've just arrived to Lviv?
Well, just I arrived on Thursday already. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I've been here a couple of days now. Yeah.
That's even better because then we'll have something to discuss. It's perhaps your first time visit in the city, right?
Yes, it is. It's my
Never been
first
here
time in
before.
Ukraine, even. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it's personally one of my favorite cities. Each time I've got the smallest opportunity, I immediately go there. For me, it's not even an option to consider any other cities. To be fair, it's one of the best. Yeah, how's that city treating you? What's your initial impression?
It's amazing. I'm really enjoying this city. I really love the look of the city. Like
Hmm.
it's such a pretty city to
Mm.
walk around. Like already every day, I've just been walking around here, looking at the buildings, the architectures, the parks. That
Yeah.
just has been
Does it
beautiful.
resemble the Netherlands, at least remotely to you?
It does not resemble the
Yeah,
Netherlands. No,
yeah.
I think it maybe resembles some other countries a bit more. Maybe some like Polish
Hmm.
cities
Of
or
course,
Czech
yeah,
cities,
yeah.
maybe.
The impact
Yeah,
is
but
quite noticeable of the Polish effect, so to speak, in the city. Yeah,
yeah,
interesting. And it's taken you nearly a month, if I'm right.
nearly a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
29 days it has
Hmm.
taken me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
29 days. What was your daily distance on average?
There was definitely quite some difference sometimes. My initial goal was to bike 70 kilometers every
Each
day.
day. Yeah, wow.
And I ended up usually biking a bit more than that,
Uh-huh.
usually around the 80, 90 kilometers. And then like my max, like the highest I biked was maybe 130 kilometers on a
Yeah,
day.
that's impressive. Yeah, for people who know what it's like to bike for over 100 kilometers. Yeah, if those who know, they know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit of a
quite a
challenge.
lot.
How did you feel after 130?
I felt so exhausted.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also think it wasn't um, the best thing to do because the 2 days after that, my body couldn't
Oh,
handle
yeah,
biking for so long
100%. Yeah,
anymore. No.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, maximum I've ever hit is 100. And it made me question my entire essence, to be fair. I
Yeah.
nearly forgot my own name, to be honest.
No. No, I would never, because the thing is, the reason both times why I hit 130 was not because I was like, I'm gonna bike 130 today. It was more because both
Necessity,
times
right? Not a choice.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. At one point, it was like, oh wait, but the next hotel is in like
Yeah.
30 kilometers. I don't have any other option. I have to keep
Mm.
going. So yeah.
I was going to ask you whether you've ever come across this channel by a Ukrainian traveler. His name is Volodymyr Muляr, and he's got this channel called Two-Wheeled Chronicles. And
Okay.
the guy is trying to, I think he's visited like, how many continents are there on Earth? Six?
It's seven if you include
Yeah, yeah.
Antarctica.
Last time I checked, might have been seven, right? I don't know. Maybe they're adding something, right? Yeah. So he's trying to visit all of those, and I think he's been to all of those besides Antarctica on a
Okay.
bicycle. Yeah, but this guy's been traveling for I'm pretty sure well over 10 years. And the only means he's using is just his bicycle. Well, he
Yeah.
tries to avoid planes as much as he can, but due to certain specifics of transporting yourself, sometimes it's impossible. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy his channel. This guy's crazy about bicycle. It's a true passion of his.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to check it out. It seems like
You guys
a
got to have a
combination.
collaboration. You got to record a common podcast. You have
Yeah,
a lot in
exactly.
common. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
This
would
guy's
love to
great.
travel the world too. So
Where's this? When I had a podcast with him, it was, I think, one of the first things that I was interested in, where the passion for cycling comes from. What about you?
it came from my passion for traveling.
Mm.
I really like traveling. I definitely haven't seen all the continents yet, but I noticed that when you travel Europe, for example, I once traveled Europe with a van. It's really nice, but you don't really get to properly experience the route you're making when you're in a car, right, or when you're on a plane. And I realized if I get myself a good bike and I travel countries with my bike, I will actually get to experience
Yeah,
everything, you know?
right. Truly
And
feel it, right?
yes,
Soak it
exactly.
completely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, those guys who travel only by car, we talked with Volodymyr about this. Do they even, can we even say that they understand the culture and the specific and the people and the scenery and all of it? Because it's like everything is quick, everything's fleeting. When you and your bike and alone, it's almost like intimate experience, what I said to Volodymyr, of obtaining, perceiving everything. Yeah, but what about the drawbacks? What about the disadvantages, besides the physical aspect, apparently?
I mean, things can go wrong. Things went wrong with me. My bike broke down probably like 3 times, and that was definitely that sucked.
Anything
Definitely.
serious besides the flat tires? I've seen a video where you go to your first, I think, flat tire.
Yeah, the flat tire was okay. The I think the thing that sucked the most, and obviously it also has to do with the time I had, is
Yeah.
that a piece broke, a small
Yeah.
piece of my bike. I don't know what you would call it, and I had to order it from the internet, right? And
Wow.
I tried to order it, but it was going to take 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
That's
I
crazy.
didn't know what to do because I had
Yeah.
to be in Ukraine at one point,
Right.
and that's when I actually had to, which seemed like a very radical decision, but I had no other choice. I actually bought a new bike
Wow. Really?
because
Huh.
I didn't know what else to do.
That's
So
yeah, it is a little bit drastic, yeah, a bit radical for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, well, good for you, you could afford it, you know.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I hope to be able to sell it because I have two
Mm,
bikes now, of course.
right.
But yeah,
Have you
yeah.
sold the first one yet?
No,
Yeah.
my first bike is now still in this Polish village,
Oh,
right?
really? You just left it there?
I have to let,
Well,
and
listen, man, I
I
don't want to
will.
disappoint you. It might not be there at this point.
No,
You know, are you
it's
sure it's
it's
still
in
there?
a it's in a storage, so it's okay. No, I'm gonna pick it up, and when I get home, I have the two bikes, and
Mm.
my first bike is like really my bike to like,
Yeah,
so I
right,
will keep
right.
that, and the one
Yeah.
I bought on my way, I'm gonna
Oh, so you're selling the second one. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The stranger one, right? That doesn't you do not really relate to each other, right? Because it's been too
Exactly,
short.
you understand.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So that was
Wow.
quite
It's
funny.
pretty crazy if something like that happens to your bike when a detail kind of breaks down that cannot be replaced. Yeah, I've never thought
Hmm.
about this. Like, honestly, I've got a bike. I've always, my entire life, I've had bicycles. I'm not very good at fixing those things. I used to
No.
try, because I thought at one point, well, you know, since you own a bike, you've got to be like really skillful with this thing. Whenever you
Hmm.
go, you've got to be able to keep all the instruments, all the necessary, you know, stuff around you. Now I'm like, luckily we've got this little shop where the guy knows what he's doing. So every time I have the smallest issue, I just get the bike to that guy and that's it, and it's fixed. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
even sure if I could fix a flat tire, to be honest. You know, you guys are
No.
good at that. Those guys who
I, I,
travel with us.
I also had problems with fixing my tire, not exactly fixing the tire
Mm,
itself, but I stumbled upon a second problem after I
yeah,
did put back the tire.
right.
Everything was good, everything was fixed,
Yeah.
but then
Oh, it was
apparently,
bumping probably. No.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
and I remember
yeah.
feeling really bad about that. I remember sitting down at one point and being like, I can't even
Yeah.
fix my
Yeah.
bike. Why
Yeah.
can't I fix this? This is so stupid. I got really
Yeah.
mad at one point because of
Mm.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if that was the case, that was often the case with me after you put everything onto the wheel and you start
Hmm.
riding a bike and there is this little, you know, it's not really, it's like a little bump really in the tire
Hmm.
itself. And every time you roll in the wheel, it's like, you know, you keep jumping up like that. And it's kind of annoying, but then you understand that to undo that shit, you have to let all the air out and probably put it one more time again, this time properly and correctly. Yeah, that's a bummer. So the total distance is well over 1,000 kilometers, right?
Over 1,500 kilometers.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
crazy. Wow. What
yeah.
about what I'm always curious with travelers like that is the planning behind trips like that.
Hmm.
Did you look at the map? How did you recharge your devices? Did you know where your next stop was going to be, or was it a bit of a spontaneous, you know, planning on the
Yeah,
go?
well, but the stops was definitely. I never, when I woke up, I never knew where I was going to sleep
Mm,
because I wanted to decide along the way how many kilometers I could bike. Because if I tell myself I'm gonna sleep somewhere 100 kilometers away, and then after 70 I can't do it anymore. Like I don't want that. So usually halfway through the journey, I will go check on my maps where I can sleep, and
So
then
you
just
knew approximate direction and approximately remotely where the next stop could be, but
yes.
mostly you relied on your tent that you picked with you.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
yeah. For the first half, mostly. I
right.
feel like when I got like into Poland at one point, it started getting really hard to camp. There is possibilities to wild camp, but for me, it was usually not along the route. So then I had to stay in like hotels or something and whatever. But yeah, no. So that was always just along the route, and the route I used this app, Komoot, I think it's called. It's like Strava, and I just followed the route it gave me the entire journey, and I tried to find places
from
along
previous
the way.
travelers, right? Who set the path probably.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, what
Although
about
I got to
recharging?
say, charging. Well, I bought a really nice power bank.
Okay.
It's like this brick of a power bank, and it can charge your phone like 5 times.
Yeah, you can use it also as a self-defense mechanism, I bet.
Yeah,
right? In case something
exactly.
goes wrong.
Exactly. So no, I had that I had a bag in the frame, and I put it in there, and I could very conveniently just charge my phone while biking.
Right.
Yeah.
So only the phone, right? No laptop, no cameras.
Yeah. Same for that. I also had my laptop and my
You had a
cameras.
laptop, yeah.
I had to edit the videos every day. I posted videos.
It's exactly what Volodymyr is doing. It's always surprising to me, like picking a laptop, in a bicycle. Wow. And you've got to recharge it.
It was inconvenient, definitely.
Oh,
but
yeah, at least. So editing the video for the YouTube channel, I'm aware that you've got a YouTube channel and probably TikTok, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I made videos every single day. So I would film all day, and then I would edit it at the end of the day and then upload it the next day. And I really tried to do it every day. I did, actually. And sometimes it was really inconvenient. Sometimes I didn't have a lot of footage. Sometimes I didn't have internet or electricity to do, but I usually managed. Yeah.
Nice. How's the feedback been like?
The feedback to the journey?
Yeah.
It has been amazing.
Yeah, quite inspiring, I bet. Yeah, I've read a couple of comments on your Instagram, predominantly positive. I don't think I ever came across a negative comment, which is, I must confess, slightly surprising to say the least, because I'm pretty sure a couple of friends of yours must have given you a bit of caveats, warnings to say that, what, brother, you may never return from a country like that. Has anybody told you anything like that?
It wasn't too bad. I think no, yeah. Like the thing is, and I've been telling you because multiple people ask me this. I've been telling this one story about how when I was looking into this trip, I talked to a Ukrainian person, and about the safety of going here. And this person told me, like, imagine if you go to Lviv, right? The chances of you getting, like, as an example, the chances of you getting hit by a car is 10 times as big as you getting hurt by, like, a missile or something.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, and I feel like that really, when he said that, I was like, yeah, it's really not that scary to go to this part of Ukraine. And I kind of told that to all my family and friends, and nobody really.
I don't know about this particular stats, but clearly
it might be
arguably the safest probably in the entire country. It's really one of the safest for sure. Yeah, the thing is that it doesn't happen right up until the moment that it does happen. And when it does happen, then you don't think about getting hit by a car and how probable that is. Yeah, how long are you staying there?
I think I'm staying for approximately 1 more week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
what's the plan for staying here?
Well, so I just want to obviously see the city, everything, and I also just have some people to meet. So I work together with the Whitney Foundation. That's where the money will go through, and they will provide the money to the summer camps and the children in Dnipro. And I have some meetings with them, going out to dinner with them, like multiple people who want to talk with me, and also people who follow me want to meet me. So it's
that's great.
Yeah,
interesting. How did the idea originally come to you of doing it on a bicycle, and also of contributing financially to the children of Dnipro? You said that's what the organization is funding. Yeah. So what's the origin of these ideas?
Yeah, so it's kind of the combination. So the thing is, obviously the biking, I already did that, and I really wanted to do something like that, like bike through Europe. So at one point I realized that I wanted to do something for Ukrainian children because I read about a situation of young people in Ukraine. Obviously, there's a lot of different stories about children being abducted by the Russians, or them losing loved ones, or being displaced, becoming orphans. Like, there's so many horrible stories. I read about it, and I realized that I specifically wanted to do something for them. I also work with younger people because I'm a teacher, studying to be a teacher, and I realized, like, what catches people's attention, right? Because if you want to raise money, you want to catch people's attention, and that's how I came up suddenly, when at one point when I was supposed to be studying, with biking to Ukraine and just filming that and hoping that it inspires people to donate to this cause. Yeah.
What had been your previous longest distance on a bicycle before this trip?
Well, actually, I had never done a multiple day bicycle trip.
Yeah, so only single days, which is like 100, probably way less than 100 per day.
Yeah, like 80, 90. I don't think I had hit 100 before this trip.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Were you, like, how did you feel before embarking on the journey, on the day when you woke up and you understood you're about to depart into, I don't want that to sound unnecessarily dramatic, but pretty much the unknown, because there's a lot of element of chaos, right? A lot of things could go wrong.
True. Yeah. No, I remember from the day that I did, I felt mostly a lot of excitement. And there was a little voice in my head that said, what if you don't make it? What if something happens? What if you can't do it?
But it's exactly the premonition, the beautiful, pleasant excitement, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But no, it was mostly, yeah.
Was there ever a moment when you were the least excited and when you were almost on the verge of, canceling this entire adventure?
I was never on the verge of canceling the adventure, but I have definitely had moments where I felt quite horrible. But for example, when the bike broke down, and I realized, because when the bike broke down, before that I already had to not bike for like 2 days, because another time my bike broke down, and I was very happy to finally be biking again, and then it broke down again. I was like, oh, is it just gonna be like this? I can't.
So then you just go to the nearest bike shop and you grab the first fitting for you bicycle, right?
Yeah, well, that time I first waited 4 days, 4 days, which was way too much for me, honestly, because I couldn't do anything. It took 4 days until I realized that I wasn't going to get the part, and then I bought a new bike. Yeah. So
and at that point you're somewhere in Poland, right?
I'm somewhere in Poland. Yeah, I think halfway through Poland.
Yeah, but you were still lucky to have that bike shop somewhere near, right?
Definitely.
You didn't have to walk for a long distance, or
I did.
In extra case, somebody could have probably given you a ride. Some people would be willing to do it.
I did have to walk a couple of kilometers because my bike broke down in a forest, but not like a whole day or something.
Okay, interesting. What's the bike's model, the first one?
The bike's model?
Yeah.
It's from the brand of Cube, and it's got a Cube New Road FE. But
sounds mysterious, right?
It's right. But I don't
hope E doesn't stand for whatever unpredictable braking somewhere in the middle of the road.
No, it was a good bike. The only problem was that it didn't have any suspension.
Right.
I didn't realize that I was going to be biking so much off-road.
So what about that suspension thing? People say like that could be the front suspension, if I get it correctly, on the front wheel, and basically like the rear wheel, right? Which one is better for your case? Having two of them, or
I mean, two of them is always better. In this case, when I got the new bike, I only got front suspension with it, and that was already more than enough for the off-road.
Is it true that, like, if you're not partaking in some extreme activities of cycling down the hills and some rocky surfaces, that these double suspension is unnecessary? Is that true?
I think so. Yeah, from what I've experienced, like the front suspension was more than enough. And I just had some cobblestone, some sand paths, some whatever, and for that it was great.
Because I remember back in my childhood, all of a sudden there was this mountain bike boom, this explosion of mountain bikes, very questionable quality, must be said. Yeah, but people, especially teenagers, kids, everybody lost their mind. And if you had a double suspension, you would be a god. People would look up to you. You must have your father father probably killed somebody to steal somebody's money to get that bicycle. And I looked at that
Yeah,
shit. It resembled a motorbike, and it just looked really fancy and amazing.
of
But only
course. Yeah.
recently, I think, man, do we even need it for flat roads? Like, what's the
No.
point in this unnecessary flex, right?
Yeah. But it depends on like the area you live in,
Hmm.
because I
Hmm.
noticed in Poland that everybody had suspension, like
Really?
either mountain bikes or like
Yeah.
trekking bikes with suspension. And
Wow.
I remember when I was on my first bike, already thinking like, maybe I should have had more something like this, because
Mhm.
it's not just road; it's also a lot of
Yeah,
forest.
no, I'm thinking sometimes about getting just a simple, like a city bike, whatever, the
Mhm.
like road bikes.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's got those that, and sometimes I ride and I think, man, it's like you're not bent over all the time. My elbows kill me permanently for some reason because I always have to stretch my hands like that. Do you have
Yeah.
elbows issues, or is that only me? Is that only
No,
my
I did
force?
not have elbow issue,
Yeah,
but
good
I
for.
definitely I had what's it
On
called,
the wrist.
wrist
Oh yeah,
wrists.
yeah,
Yeah, my wrists.
wrists
I
are
feel like they're
fucked,
still hurting. I
man.
actually
Yeah.
tried to do push-ups today, and I couldn't
Mm,
because my wrists
mm,
still hurt from being in that position
yeah.
for a month.
So, and on these like city bikes, you just don't have that shit. It's super
No,
comfortable.
it is.
It doesn't have the gear though, the gear system, so you can't switch it
Uh
up and down. So you gotta have to put in some effort regardless of the condition.
it's a
Yeah,
real
but it's cool.
classic city
Yeah,
bike.
yeah,
Yeah, we have a
yeah.
lot of
Like,
those in the Netherlands
oh
too. Like
yeah, I
a
can
lot of city
imagine.
bike.
I had
Yeah.
this. I don't know if the guy was from the Netherlands. I think an architecture, some city architecture, might have been from the Netherlands. I had him on a podcast like a year ago or something. So we talked, I
Mhm.
believe, about the Netherlands structure. The city structure. Yeah. So what's up with bikes in Netherlands? How comfortable it is in terms of like getting around on a bike? Do people view
It's
bikes differently than in other
Definitely, the
countries? Wow.
Netherlands is so different from all other countries. Like
Mm.
our entire infrastructure is designed for
Wow.
bikes. You can get every
That's
like
amazing.
there's bike paths everywhere, also within between cities. But the infrastructure within cities is very different because
How does it happen? Like how has it come this way? Maybe historically, do you know?
there is I've probably read about it, but
Yeah,
honestly I don't exactly know. It just happened at one
yeah,
point. We
yeah.
just decided to I do know it happened after World War II, so it's
People
something
had to
after that
reconsider their
happened.
values,
Yeah,
probably. Like people
yeah,
like, yeah, fuck development. We're not
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah. No, it's insane. Like we have, when you bike around in the city of Netherlands, there's everywhere. There's bike paths. You have right of way everywhere. It's yeah, it's harder to drive around in a car than to bike around. It's
Wow.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Really a dream place, I'm pretty sure, for any bike enjoyer. It's
Hmm.
so cool. What do you think about people's now? I'd like to approach that with a little less, maybe not less visible aspect, maybe a bit of a psychological perspective to this bike situation in the Netherlands. Does this shift require a certain like change in the mindset of a person? Because when talking to kind of conventional and kind of standard thinking dudes, they always would talk, run their mouths for hours about the car necessity. Those
Hmm.
guys, I don't know if you're one of them. I'm clearly not one of them. Those guys who can't imagine their lives without a car. They always run their mouths about having different cars. How cool would be to have that car, to have this car. I've never been the one for cars particularly. So do you notice, if you've been to other countries, any like mentality shift for guys who enjoy bicycles over, a bit quicker vehicles?
Yeah, I think in a way that is necessary. I mean, you just have to realize, maybe experience, for example, in the Netherlands, that it is actually more convenient to have a city that is more for bikes, because in the end, if your city is designed for bikes, you get around quicker with bicycles than with cars, because there's no
For sure.
traffic. There's
Yeah.
much less traffic,
Mhm.
and also there's a lot of other benefits, of course, right? It's healthy, it's good for the
It's the only
environment.
transport that makes you better. The
Yeah,
only
yeah,
transport. How
exactly.
the hell are you
So
becoming healthier sitting on your ass in a car? Oh, well, my car is actually expensive. And who cares how expensive it is? But
no.
you're still getting fat sitting in that car.
No, because when I walk around here in Lviv, and it's really not just Lviv, it's a lot of European cities. It's there's cars everywhere,
Mm,
right? There's traffic jams everywhere. It's really hard to get around on feet or by bike because you constantly have to wait for the cars. But the cars themselves also have to wait all the time because there's just so many of them. It's like it's chaos and everything is much slower. So it's definitely it would be more convenient and
Yeah,
fast.
everybody
You got to
says that
realize.
Lviv is a pretty unfitting city for a car, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure
Hmm.
why they keep saying it. Maybe because of the surface on the road, because the roads are, if you've noticed, they always covered with these plates, stones,
Hmm.
plates, so it's not like a flat surface like asphalt. It's covered with those plates in lots of places. And when you drive in a car, it's like you're always jumping up and down. And
Yeah,
maybe the structure of streets, lots of streets are pretty narrow.
yeah.
So yeah, man, I mean, I wish people change their attitude towards bicycles, but it requires from a person a bit more attention to their health and maybe a bit more willingness to compromise on a bit of a physical comfort. Because whether we
True.
like it or not, you jump in a car saloons, you crash into this comfortable leather chair, you
Hmm.
just spin the wheel and that's all you do. With a bicycle, you gotta sweat sometimes a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, that's definitely true. Yeah, it depends. Like when you got to decide when to use the car and when not. I mean, even I sometimes get lazy and use the car when I could have used the bike. For example, my mother actually at one point sold her car because she got an electric bike, which is obviously a little bit easier. And when
Interesting.
she had to go from city to city, she
Yeah.
just used the electric bike. And when she had
Mm.
to go very far, she just used the train, so she didn't
Wow.
even
She
need.
would pick the bicycle with her, right?
Yeah,
And then she would step on a train, and that's how she would get around, or just without
exactly.
the electric bike.
Well, the thing is, like, even for example, the province she lives in, I don't know how to compare, but within the province, she could get basically everywhere by bike because
Yeah,
it would only
easy.
take
I'm
like
sure.
two hours or
Yeah,
something, max,
yeah,
max, max,
yeah.
to get to her
Place
to
where
the.
I'm living, 15 minutes. I'm on the outskirts. Man, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah.
15 minutes. I don't know where the fuck I am.
No,
You know.
no, exactly. So.
So, yeah, so that place where your mom is living, it's kind of big. 2 hours. If it takes her 2 hours to get around in town, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a metropolis for me or something.
Mm.
Yeah, what do you think about these electric bikes? Have
um,
you tried any of them?
I've tried yeah, just like electric bikes in general. I don't know. They're good if I think they're good. They're there for people who, for
Mm.
example, have maybe some like older people, like mobility issues or whatever. It's hard to bike a normal bike, or if you have to bike very far, right? But for example, in the Netherlands, I don't know about here. Everybody is starting to bike electric, and it's
Oh,
starting
they're
to get a bit.
getting here as well, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
even
starting to
in
get a
my
bit
shit town,
annoying.
I'm seeing more and more guys. I don't even know where they're getting it from. The goddamn delivery services. These
Yeah.
delivery services getting out of hands. They can deliver a person from one city to another city in a box. That's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it's really insane. It's just people who are fit enough to just bike on a normal bike, and they will still get these electric bikes, and they also go so fast sometimes. Like
Oh
we
yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah,
bikes that can go like 60 kilometers an
yeah,
hour.
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. What about
Yeah.
those? Remember, I don't know if I should say remember. I don't know the trends of your country, but here, like, I'd say around maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, this what do this one wheel mono wheel? I
Mhm.
think that's called a mono wheel. You know what the fuck
Yeah.
that is? A goddamn mono wheel. You know,
Oh, like the one you like stand on,
you
you
were
mean? Like,
standing on one wheel, for fuck's sake.
yes, I've
You're
seen
standing on
those.
that shit. You pray into all gods that you don't crash. And
They
those
seem
bastards go
scary.
crazily fast. I don't know if it's 60, clearly it could be in the neighborhood. Man, I swear some motherfuckers went probably for 100. I remember seeing that shit for the first time. I was inside a building in a room and there was a window and I see this
Mhm.
guy just flying by like that. And because of the window was slightly higher, I couldn't see what's going on down there. And he looked like a goddamn Dementor from Harry Potter, just flying by like that.
I
I'm
could
like,
imagine
bitch, how
just.
the fuck did you run like that? That's insane.
Yeah,
The
it's
entire
insane.
idea, go back to guys from previous centuries, like goddamn 19th
Right.
century, tell them that modern bastards would be riding around on one wheel, and it
Yeah,
would be
right.
super fucking quick.
They would be. Yeah, that's. They get so far. But you must, like, when you get one of those things, you must just fall off of them like multiple times before getting the
100%.
hang of it, right?
Unfortunately, people don't see it a lot of times.
No.
They don't see it a lot of times, so they're never discouraged. They
Mhm.
don't have the access to the real picture, real information.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
I don't even know how they climb on that wheel. Like, do you just jump and hope that you keep the balance? So the mono wheel, and there is also this like a gyro scooter, I think that's called. I'm not sure. You know what that is? It's like two
Mhm.
wheels and a
Yeah.
platform in the middle. So you're
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, you know what that is? What do you
They
call
were
that?
like, they used to be like a big thing back in like 2017, 18 or something. Yeah, yeah, everybody would have them.
You know the dumbest thing about them? They had a Bluetooth connection, so you can plug your
Yeah, they
phone
would
to
come.
that, and you can
No,
blast some stupid music when you ride around on those
no,
things.
but I have seen a good use for them because for children. Then I saw like this thing you could like a little cart, like you could
Mm.
put on the board, and you would be able to drive it as if it's a little car. So you have
Wow.
two wheels, just
Okay.
normal wheels
Yeah.
attached to like a little seat,
Okay. Okay.
and then
Yeah.
you would attach that to like the
Yeah, but you
board.
got to be inventive for that to come up with shit like
Yeah,
that. You got it takes a couple of brains, It takes
definitely.
a bit of Tesla right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to stay away from inventions like that. I'm not going to invent anything on top of it. I'm not going to come up with a car idea. I'm standing breaking my
No.
neck. That would be it.
No, exactly. So
The
many new
electric bikes
inventions.
are, there are lots of them. There are lots of them,
Mhm.
and they're getting. I'll be the first to admit they kind of look sexy. Sometimes Instagram just pumps some of those videos in my
Yeah.
recommendations, and I look at them, and they're affordable, and
Yeah.
they promise good capacity for battery. Like you can
Mhm.
travel from country to country on one charging. Probably you can pick up your power bank. You easily go to another country. Probably, you
It's
know.
definitely more environmentally friendly than getting
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah, for sure.
moped or something.
Yeah, people would also maybe disagree with you on that because it matters on what you do to the battery afterwards.
True.
Yeah. And these days,
How is the battery
I
produced?
don't
Yeah.
even know. I mean, if you want to be eco-friendly, can I even breathe at the end of the day? There will always be people
Yeah.
confronting you that whatever you're doing is wrong.
Hmm. No,
Uh,
true.
Interesting. So
Mhm.
staying here for a couple of days exploring, how's the fundraising going, or how has it gone so far? Are you finished raising money, and how happy are you with what you've gained?
Oh, I'm very happy. But like right now, people can still donate, but it's basically over. I don't make videos anymore. There's not, but some people are still donating. Basically, I didn't have a goal, but I ended up raising well around 10,000 euros has been
Wow.
donated, a little bit
Yeah.
more,
Yeah. That's
and that's
impressive.
insane.
Yeah.
That's much
Yeah.
more than I
Yeah.
expected because I don't know if you've read about it, but I have a sponsor,
Mm.
right? And the sponsor doubled the amount of
Uh-huh.
money. So
Really?
actually, over twenty
Yeah.
thousand euros has been
That's a
raised.
lot of money. Yeah. That's
It's
great.
so
Yeah,
much money.
man. We're grateful for what you're doing. I always feel the worst for children and for animals. It's
Mhm.
just, I think these two groups of being, they are the most innocent. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, needless to say that generally there are perpetrators of violence and there are victims of violence.
of
But
course.
Jesus, the fucking children, they don't even understand what the hell is going on.
That's the thing.
You
They
know?
they definitely didn't do anything. And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
something that's very important to me is that I know that it's so important for children to have a normal childhood,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, we're
yeah,
late with that. Listen, this
uh,
generation, man,
exactly.
this
But
generation
that's
is
why
going to be traumatized.
we should do everything to make their childhood as normal as possible.
Yeah,
It's already,
yeah, for
of
sure.
course, they are already living through
Yeah.
war, but
Oh,
if
man.
if we can make it as normal as possible, make sure they
Mhm.
just live kind of a normal childhood, they will feel that the rest of their lives,
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's very
Yeah,
important.
well, the good thing about children is that they are still kind of flexible in their psychology, and their ability to overcome certain things is, I think, more capable, even if
Hmm.
something highly traumatizing like the war happens. So
Yeah,
maybe their advantage is in the fact that they're still young, but at the same time, all that madness that took place in childhood, sooner or later it's going to surface. Sooner or
yeah,
later it's going to come out, and when it does, I mean, every that's basically the basis of all psychotherapy. You just dig up your past from your childhood, and that shit is never ending. And imagine
No,
the
exactly.
modern kids. It's like first they got coronavirus, nobody understood what the fuck happened. Everybody was on homeschooling, and now
Yeah.
they've got the war. I don't want to sound cynical, but man, we got a generation of geniuses growing up. I
Yeah.
don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen after like 10
No,
years.
I'm curious to what generation. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Well,
Pretty interesting.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that donation has been raised. How much do you owe to distributing content, promoting it? Do you think, in other words, you would have gained notably less if not for social media?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, the social media really helped to reach a lot of people to donate. Obviously, there's also been a lot of donations from within my circle, friends, family, whatever. But obviously, they were not able to raise 10,000 euros together. So no, a lot of people who I didn't know who just followed me on Instagram donated. So that yeah, no, that definitely contributed to the cause, and
Yeah,
that's
right,
beautiful.
right.
Also, a lot of Ukrainian people.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've been reading some comments. Most of them, a lot of them come from Ukrainian guys. Sometimes I can
Yeah,
spot it by shitty grammar in English language, but nonetheless, those are good people. Clearly, good people.
definitely.
Yeah.
No, 50% of my followers were
Mm.
Ukrainian, actually. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah.
It's interesting how the algorithms took off quickly.
Hmm.
Some people they have to work. How do you explain the fact that your videos? Would you say they go viral at one point?
Yes,
Yeah,
mostly at the end they went
yeah.
viral. I really tried also before I left to really like I am not an influencer and I will also not be an influencer after this, but I really try to do all the social media tactics, post love, whatever. And at the start I got a lot of already some people who were started to follow, and then somewhere in the last week, suddenly videos started getting a lot of views, getting over
Interesting.
10,000 views, and yeah.
Almost unforeseenly, unpredictably, like you didn't do anything you had never done before, right? And then somehow
Yeah,
mysteriously they just take off, right?
yeah,
Oh, that's the
yes,
mystery of algorithms, right?
it is. It is. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also. I think some people also saw that it was getting closer to Ukraine. Maybe that
Mm.
was also like a factor. I think the video that was watched the most was the video when I entered Ukraine. So I think that was also very interesting
I'm
to
gonna tell you
people.
why. Well, first of all, people are curious. That might sound right now as a slightly stupid and primitive reason, but lots of Ukrainian people are on this constant battle with learning English language. So as soon as they
Mhm.
see a foreigner with an impressive English level, they just want to talk to people who learn English. Clearly, they respect your cause. Undeniably,
Mhm.
that goes without saying. Yeah, and perhaps certain attention, maybe minimal percent of attention, comes from Ukrainian men who just can't wrap their mind around the fact that while lots of Ukrainian bastards are actively plotting the schemes how to escape the country, there are guys who are coming in. So
In.
that's one thing that they can't understand.
Yeah, no, fair, fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's
it
that's
was
pretty cool.
cool. Yeah, no, it was great getting into Ukraine. I had really been looking forward to that.
Yeah. Do you live in a city or a town, a village?
Yeah, I live in a medium-sized
Yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah.
It's like we have all the big cities in the center of our
Uh,
country:
okay.
Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague,
Mm,
and then there's one big city in the north, and that's my
mm.
city, Groningen.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How's the nature over there?
The nature.
Yeah,
Um, it's if the north of the city. It's
yeah,
nothing. It's
yeah.
just fields. It's
Mm,
very boring. And in the south we have Drenthe,
mm,
which still has some like original forests and
mm.
meadows and nice places to
Yeah.
to walk around.
Mm.
But it's still very flat, like the
Flat.
entire
Yeah,
country
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And that's also where I
Mm,
biked to train for
mm,
this
mm.
journey.
Okay, interesting. You trained, right?
Mhm.
Increasing the distances, I imagine, right? Checking how long you can go. What was the training like?
I gotta admit, and I didn't say this to anybody before I left, but I did train. I biked multiple times a week,
Mm,
so that's good. but I actually never biked very long. A lot of the times because I just didn't have enough time. I told you that I wanted to bike 70 kilometers a day, and in the entire training I think I only biked 70 kilometers like 2 times. So mostly I only bike like 40-50 kilometers, and then I went back home.
It kind of gave you a taste, you know. It's
Yeah,
not like 7 kilometers, right?
true, yeah. No, I had to get used to it like a little bit the first days of my journey. But you just get used to it, both for stamina and I think my biggest problem was that at the start everything really hurt, like my arms and my chest and my legs and my hands, everything hurt for 3 days straight, and then it just stopped, and
Yeah,
then I was
right,
just
right,
biking
right.
and everything was good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your body gets used to it,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yeah.
Um, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You know, when you are doing an activity that is not common to you, you're gonna have this soreness in your muscles, and then it repairs. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. On the final note, I'd like to raise the topic of the attitude to the war in Ukraine. When it comes to European countries, predominantly, luckily, the attitude is objectively positive, and people understand, and people are well aware of what's going on truly here. How about your personal story when you just found out that the war had started?
Mhm.
In other words, simply saying, why are you in such a favor of Ukraine?
Well, it's I've been following the news in Ukraine since the day of the invasion. So I've been really I don't know what the word for it is, but just really into the story about everything. So it's just something that kept me busy, reading a lot about it, reading the stories, and I think it started off with me just there was an anger that really started developing
For
because of
the injustice, right?
the injustice. Yeah, the whole story. When I started wrapping my mind around the story of Putin, of the aggressor, just I don't know, having this ideology, just deciding what's right, deciding what
At
is
one
Russia.
point, it's just sheer stupidity. Like, how
Exactly,
do
you
you
know.
even have half a brain? How do you even remotely justify whatever they've been doing? It's,
Exactly. And
absurd.
then just the thought of this old man sitting there in Moscow being like, yeah, this is what I should do, and just for 4 years, 5 years, just murdering children, women, soldiers, his own people too. It's yeah, I don't know, and that was just frustrating. And from there, I don't know, I I really feel for this conflict. Yeah.
And that's how it's resulted, and that's
Hmm.
how it's resulted. And yeah, to wrap it up, the lovely conversation, let me express the deepest gratitude to what you've done. Is unbelievably important and symbolically powerful to a lot of people. So thank you very much, personally, from myself and from the beautiful Ukrainian nation as well. You've got to clearly return. Perhaps if the war is ever to stop, you might return on a bit more peaceful condition, let's say, maybe slightly more comfortably, and yeah, to explore it. The western part is clearly a place to explore. I'd love for you to
Hmm.
be in the Ukrainian Carpathians. That entire western region is my personally favorite part of the country. Yeah, so lots of things to see. And I mean, yeah, great journey, and thank you for doing that. And
Yeah,
also,
thank you so much.
thanks for
It was
having a
a
conversation.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.